have responsibilities, a job, school, something you need to do tomorrow, do not, under any circumstances, pick up any of these books. These are the types of books where you say, oh, I'm just gonna read one more chapter, and you blink and it's 3 in the morning. Let's get started with book number 1. I made my husband wake up at 3 something in the morning so I could tell him about the premise of this book. And he said, that's nice. And then he went back to snoring. So the next morning I woke up, he did not reach my level of enthusiasm. So I called my mom. She was a good person to call. I was like, Mom, I have to tell you about this book that I read last night. And she goes, well, what is it? And I was like, it's called The Good Girl by Mary Kubeka, and you need to pick it up today. She goes, but I'm at work. I'm like, pick it up today. Like, on the way home, you get this book. And my mom was like, okay, Jesus. So my mom on the way home from work picked up this book, went home, started reading it. 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone starts going off, ting, 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 all these text messages from my mother. Oh my God, what the heck? This did not just happen. I am so mad right now. What is this? And I was freaking out because I'm like, look it, even my mother, the responsible one, is up at 4 o'clock in the morning reading this book. And she's screaming about it too. I was like, see? So The Good Girl by Mary Kubeka is about a woman who gets kidnapped. And we're following her on her little I've been kidnapped journey. It's such a ride. Like, I am begging you, pretty please, read The Good Girl by Mary Kubeka. We are now into book 2 on this list, which is Never Lie by Frieda McFadden. It was like reading Verity level of anxiety inducing. It was so good, but it had Verity vibes. We are finding our main girl has located a secret hidden compartment in the house. And inside this secret hidden compartment, she discovers these tapes. And you find out that they are from a psychiatrist who used to live in the house who went missing. And these are the tapes of her and her patients. And the girl starts listening to the tapes, and we find out some really wild things inside these tapes. And it's kind of like that icky feeling you get when reading Verity, when you're reading the diary pages. It's so similar to that feeling where you're like, oh my God, I should not be listening to this, but I can't stop listening to this. And it's so good. It just gives you all the feels, all the vibes, and you have to keep reading it. Like, you just do chapter. And by the time you get to the end of this book, your jaw is on the ground. I read this during a book talk live. There were like hundreds of people watching me read this book. And I swear to God, my expression the entire time was, I was like, oh my God. And they were like, I know. And then I would read another chapter and I was like, oh my God. And they were like, I know. And it was so much fun. It was one of the funnest reading lives that I've had, because like the anticipation of me getting to the end of this book was bar none. Like, I don't think anybody was even reading that night. I think everyone was just watching my reactions to Never Lie, because if you've read it, like, you know, it's crazy. Some of you may be surprised to find this book on this list, but it had to make this list because this is the most addictive books, and this one was so addictive. I had no business reading this book, but I couldn't put it down. This is Haunting Adeline. It is as crazy, as unhinged, as dark, as weird ride that everybody describes it as. It absolutely lives up to the hype of being extremely dark, very morally gray, at its core a true stalker romance where the entire time you're reading it, you're like, ew, that boy's following me. And at the same time, you're kind of like, that boy's following me. So crazy. It's a really fun book. Haunting Adeline, definitely 18 plus, very, very dark. Check your trigger warning pages. But this one, you're never gonna put it down. Like, there is no universe in which you can pick up Haunting Adeline and put it down and go do something else. Okay, this next one is completely unhinged, but in a completely different way. This is Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Now, Butcher and Blackbird is crazy, unhinged, fast-paced, but very, very funny. This book is hilarious. Like, you are laughing out loud, kicking your feet. The banter is excellent. The plot line is perfection. Like, you could not ask for more in a dark romance book than Butcher and Blackbird. Butcher and Blackbird, you are following two serial killers who are in a competition with one another that spans over the course of 5 years. So every year, these two serial killers, one boy, one girl, get together and they play a game, and they are competing against one another as serial killers. It is so good. You are never going to be in the vicinity of cookies and cream ice cream and not think about that book. You are going to be so grossed out in the very best ways. I love Butcher and Blackbird. The rest of the series, not as good as the first one. But if you loved Butcher and Blackbird and you're like, I need another read that feels like this, Tourist Season. Tourist Season is my favorite Brynne Weaver to date. So if you've already read B&B and you haven't read Tourist Season yet, make sure you pick it up. Okay, this next one is where I truly lost control over my life. This was a fever dream. Zodiac Academy is very banter, spice forward, and because of that, it reads really fast. It's not like Harry Potter, where it's like, this is the castle, this is the magic system, these are the teachers, these are the classes, this is the atmosphere, this is the vibe. No. Zodiac Academy, you decide what the castle looks like because the only description words you get are big castle. You decide what the mythological creatures look like because the only adjective used is vampire. You get to choose how it looks in your imagination, and I love that about Zodiac Academy because you get all the banter, all the fun, all the amazingness without it being cluttered and drugged down. Books 3, 4, 5, and 6, I don't recall going to bed at all. Like, I don't even know which book is which. I don't even know the titles of books 3, 4, 5, and 6. I have no idea. Couldn't tell you what the covers looked like. No clue, because I read them on Kindle Unlimited and I read them so fast. It all blurred into like one Zodiac Academy experience. There was no differentiators between books. It's not like Harry Potter where like every book is a new year. No, Zodiac Academy just continues. So there's never like a stopping point. And because of that, you never find a stopping point. You never want to stop. So that's why that's on this list. This next book is a 1-star and it's a 5-star. Like, it is the strangest piece of fiction I've ever read. And because of that, it makes this list. So Bunny, we are following a girl who is in college and she stumbles across the sorority where everybody calls themselves Bunny. So it's, hi Bunny, hey Bunny, how are you Bunny, this Bunny. And so not only do none of the characters have names, but they all call each other by the same name. And it is at the discretion of you, the reader, to try to figure out which bunny is which bunny are they referring to, who was actually there, who actually wasn't, what is actually happening, what the heck is imagined, and what on God's green earth is going on. Hey, look, a swan. Yeah, this one, just read it. Okay, I've saved the best for last. You want to talk about an addictive read? I read this during the Eras tour. No, you did not mishear me. This book was so good, so addictive. So I had to read it right now that I read it during the Eras tour on my phone. There was no hope of me not reading this book. There was zero opportunities. My entire Eras tour weekend experience was spent reading the Ravenhood trilogy by Kate Stewart. Flock is the definition of an addictive book. This is the, like, crowning glory, #1 most addictive book ever written. And I'm just gonna throw the whole trilogy in here because there wasn't any hope. I read all 3 books in less than 72 hours. I read it on the plane. I read it at the restaurant. I read it during the Eras Tour. Now, big asterisk, I read between Gracie Abrams and Taylor Swift taking the stage. So you know you have like the 20 minutes of like setup time, and then before they start, and then after they start, and you're in line at the bathroom, and you're in line to get your ticket scanned. I was reading this trilogy the entire time. My mom was like, put your phone away. And I was like, I can't. Couldn't stop. Couldn't stop. Reading the Ravenhood trilogy is like reading the Tortured Poets Department. If the Tortured Poets Department is your #1 Taylor Swift album and you love that feeling, you have to read Ravenhood trilogy. If you pick up any of these books, just know there is no hope. Like, you are not doing anything else until you close them, and then you can do something else. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that big like button. Make sure you share it out with friends if you want them to experience some of these books. If you have read any of these, please let me know what you rated them down in the comments, and I will see you guys in next week's video.